Well, hi there, folks. Welcome back to Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Farmsimgamer here, and we are 6:45 on our fourth day. We had a busy day yesterday, finishing off those harvest contracts. We harvested fields 12, 13, 37, and 43. That gave us about $40,000 of income. And then we've started off doing some fertiliser contracts. Quite a lot of the contracts that are available at the moment are all fertiliser contracts. So we are making ourselves busy doing that. We've done field 9, we have done field 25. That's given us about $15,000-16,000 worth of income, something like that, after fertiliser cost. We're now busy doing field 45, which is at the back of the sheep farm, and we are going to go off and do field 49 as well. Now, whilst all that's happening, I think I am going to take on the field 8 has got a potato harvest contract. Now, I have installed a mod where I can do more than one contract at a time. I kind of figure that if you've got the equipment, or you can borrow the equipment, why shouldn't you take on more than one contract? So no issue with that. So I think I am going to accept this. But I need to borrow the items because I don't have any of the potato harvesting equipment. So I'm going to borrow those. And whilst one of my helpers is getting on doing the fertilising contracts, I am going to get on doing that harvesting contract. So hopefully $15,000 worth of income. We should kind of double our money really and make about another $30,000. And hopefully we've got 75 in the bank. So hopefully, we'll kind of end up with over $110,000-120,000 towards the end of this day, once we've finished with all these various contracts. So that will help us pay off a little bit more of this loan that we've got down here, $455. So we started with $535, so we've paid off $80,000. Hopefully we'll be able to pay off another 40 or 50, maybe a little bit more. We'll have to see how we go, and then hopefully after that, there's not many harvest contracts at the moment, but hopefully some of these fields that are in their later stage of growth, very few of these harvestable ones have actually come up for contract, but maybe some of these other ones will begin to come online. And then I'm sure at some point we will need to spray our own fields and put another layer of fertiliser on them as well, but we'll see how that works out. Okay, so back to the contracts. I'm going to accept this. I'm going to borrow items. I'm going to go down to the shop, start picking those up. Okay, so we have picked up our equipment, and I've taken that up to field 8, and we are getting on with the potato harvest. Now it's going to be a bit of slow going because the roper harvester that we've got kind of only takes about 2, maybe 3 rows at a time. I think if you're driving it yourself, you might squeeze 3 rows out of it. If you're putting a helper in, then it probably only takes 2. So it's going to take us a fair old while to harvest this field. Now, along with the items that we borrowed, it also came with a fast track, JCB fast track, and 2 TDK trailers. But I decided that I would use my own trailer, my larger Agroliner trailer that had 45,000 litre capacity, and the big John Deere that we've got, because I figured it was probably a bit easier for me to just kind of use that to go backwards and forwards. Now the sell point was the Johnson Mill, which is it's straight down one road, probably about 2/3, 3/4 of the way down the road heading south, and field 8 is kind of up towards the north part of the map, so it's not too far to travel. But I think it's probably going to take us a good, 8 trips maybe to the sell point, but we'll have to wait and see. Now we started this around about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I think it's going to take us a fair few hours to get this field done, because it's pretty slow going, as potato harvesting tends to be. But that's okay. Hopefully it will earn us some reasonable money and be worth doing. So a slightly painfully slow harvest, I'm sure, will reap its rewards. Now, I took the opportunity to have a little look at kind of agriculture in Pennsylvania. At Bucks County, I was kind of interested to see what crops are kind of really grown there. Corn seems to kind of be pretty popular, both for grain and for silage. Wheat, oats, barley, all grown for grain. Sorghum as well. I know next to nothing about that. And I do know that I think TNT did have it in an original version on this map. But I think there might have been some conflict issues or something like that. I'm not really 100% sure, so I think he took it back out. And soybeans as well, along with sunflower, vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes are all pretty common crops in and around Pennsylvania. And I also had a little kind of look online, and I was sort of interested to read that Pennsylvania is ranked first in the United States for mushroom production. Which is pretty good. An awful lot of mushrooms grown in Pennsylvania. I had to see if I can find some greenhouses in the mod hub somewhere. I know there are some that I've seen for tomatoes, cucumbers, that sort of thing. But I'll have to have a little look to see if there are some available for mushrooms that maybe we can put out on our grass field. And it was ranked 4th for apple production, 4th for Christmas tree production, and 5th for both dairy and grape production. Now, I believe that dairy is the largest agricultural industry in Pennsylvania as well. So good job I bought the cow farm. So I'll be able to support Bucks County's milk production. And then I think they're ranked 7th in the US for winemaking as well. And I was reading about the wine trail in Bucks County and the ale trail as well. I think the more I read about the area, it sounds like a really lovely place to kind of go on holiday. So whenever this pesky coronavirus thing sorts itself out, we'll maybe have to put that on the bucket list and go and have a little look around. So that's pretty good. And I was also reading, interestingly as well, that kind of a bit about the American War of Independence. Because the Liberty Bell, I know, is located in Philadelphia. It can be seen at the Liberty Bell Centre. And I was reading about George Washington, General George Washington, that his troops camped in Bucks County on Christmas Day as they prepared to kind of go off and do battle in Trenton, New Jersey, to attack the British forces. And that battle, I think, was a key turning point in the American War of Independence. So that's a kind of specific thing for Bucks County itself. So I've kind of been, I like it when a map is based on a kind of specific location. There's a few in the UK, the UK maps that have recently come out that are based very specifically on some towns and kind of areas. So Bessie Beneath down in Cornwall is a very specific place. West Newton up in, I think it's just east of Kilmarnock up in Ayrshire, based on some a very kind of specific location. So it's kind of nice because you then there's a bit of added interest for some of the stuff that goes on and in around that location. So interested to learn some of that, and hopefully I'll find out a little bit more and be able to drop that into future episodes. what else have we been getting on with on the farm? We have been doing an awful lot of fertilising contracts. They seem to be coming up kind of thick and fast, so we were taking advantage of those, doing a lot of fertilising. It feels as though we kind of fertilised most of the map and then some. I know we did some fields kind of early on, and then we went back and did them again a little bit kind of later in the day, so we've earned some really good money from fertilising. And the one thing that I kind of did want to point out as well is that the fertilising, or the silo, the buying silo that you have on the farm, seems to be pretty good value for money. Now the Breedle fertiliser is is 9,000 litres in capacity, and I'm pretty sure it cost about $9,000 to $10,000 to fill that up. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it did. So that's roughly $1,000 to $1,100 per 1,000 litres versus $1,900 and $20,000 for a 1,000 litre big bag that you can get from the farm. So that's pretty good value for money. So fertilising contracts are definitely going to be worth doing, whether you're doing them yourself or whether you're still sticking a helper in. I guess less so if you're sticking a helper in, because I assume that's probably buying at the regular farm shop price. But if you fill your fertiliser up with fertiliser from the buying silo that's on your farm and go off and do a whole bunch of contracts, then you're going to make some pretty good money out of that. So that's pretty good. So we did a whole bunch of fields, some kind of up in the northwest, fields 2, 3, 6. Up in that area, 7 I think we did as well, and then we came down to sort of the middle of the map where we did fields sort of 44, I think 45, 46, 49, and then we went back up to the north and did sort of fields 12, 13 and 14. So that was pretty good. And then eventually we managed to finish our potato harvest. Now this ended up being a little bit disappointing, really. I think we made about $9,500 of harvest income, and I was kind of hoping it would be a bit better than that. The contract value was just over $15,000, I think, less the cost for borrowing the equipment. And I was kind of hoping that we would make maybe $14,000-15,000 in harvest income, giving us a total contract value of around about sort of $30,000. But in the end, we only made about $9,500 on the harvest income, and about 14 and a bit on the contract itself. So $23,000, $24,000. That was a little bit kind of disappointing, really, considering the amount of time that it took us to actually do that contract. And then towards the back end of the day, we picked up a couple of other harvest contracts that had come up. So field 31 that we're on now with corn, that kind of took us through towards the end of the day, and I think we finished this kind of field in darkness. So good contract. I think we got some good money off this. I think we earned about $16,500 off the harvest income for this, plus the contract value itself. So this was pretty good. And then we got up bright and breezy on day 5. We did field 31, which was soybeans, the following morning, and then we also went off and did field 60 and then field 58 as well. So overall, our kind of income was pretty good. So after all of those contracts, we ended up with just short of 173,000 worth of income for the day. So that was really good, a lot more than I was probably expecting. A lot of that down to all of those fertilising contracts that we did. So that enabled me to pay off another 105,000 off the bank loan. So we're now down to 350k for the loan, and we've still got 163 in the bank, having done those other additional harvest contracts on the morning of day 5, which earned us another 32,000. So pretty good, and I think we're kind of on target to pay off that loan, hopefully within about 7 or 8 in-game days from when we started. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, much appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe, then please do so, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. So in the meantime, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the farm next time. Bye for now.